What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is Love and Hip Hop Miami season. What are we on? Season 4, episode 3, episode 2. Oh my gosh, we've only been on one episode. Jeez, Monini. So listen, I'm gonna just go ahead and put this out here. The same screwed up editing, production, quality that we're getting on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta has spilled over into Miami. But y'all, we're gonna go ahead and get through it. We're gonna make it happen. So we start this episode off with Amara La Negra. She is a season 1 vet, so she's been doing this. We find out that now she didn't really address her weight loss on the episode as much, but I do follow her on social media, and she said that she just adopted a more healthier lifestyle. Like, I know when I first started seeing her a few months ago, and I was like, oh my gosh, she has lost so much weight. And she looked good. It ain't bad, but you just remember her being very luscious, you know, and being full. But she said she just, adopted a more, a healthier lifestyle. So listen, if you're a healthy baby, it is what it is. So we see that she is down in the Dominican Republic. She said that during the pandemic, it allowed her to slow down a whole lot, and she got into real estate. She started buying up properties down there, and she's doing Airbnbs, and she said she's becoming a little boss in the real estate field. And, she said music just got to be more of a job and a chore than it was a passion anymore. And since she's really enjoying it. And of course, she also fell in love with the guy, that real estate agent down there that she was doing business with, that was sort of helping her, helping her maneuver the world of real estate. And her mama is down there. Her mama ain't feeling it. Her mama ain't feeling it because her mama is like, you are losing focus. Like, let's go. Like, we're doing the music. Like, this has been a nice little distraction. I'm glad you're making a little bit of money over here. But that is not, let's get back here. Let's get back on track. Let's get back to the, right? Later on in the episode, we see her being conflicted because he wants her to move there permanently. Her mama is like, this is a nice place to visit, but you need to get back to Miami. The world is starting to open back up, and you need to get back to work. In the end, listen, I love Amara, but she can get real whiny, honey. She can get real whiny. But she decided that she was gonna stay in the Dominican, and her mama was not feeling it. They ended up getting into an argument, and that's how the episode ended with them. Now, Miss Sukihana. We see Sukihana has opened up a boutique. She said her mother told her she needed to invest some of this money and open some businesses. And so she opened up a boutique called Good Cat. Listen, I am here for the Good Cat. I'm here for the title of the Good Cat. It is on brand. What I'm not here for is, listen, we see these people do this a dime a dozen. They open up these businesses. They are ill-equipped for the business world. And I feel like this is where we're going. She done hired her cousin, who she done already said he is more ratchet than me. My mama told me to give him this job. And his resume that he is bringing to the table is that he done worked at City Trends, KFC, and Popeyes. And that's going to be her store manager. Later on in the episode, we see her and her fiance taking their engagement pictures. And of course, they are as ratchet as you would expect them to be. He got a whole ankle monitor. And I ain't knocking the ankle monitor. But when her mama told them to cover it up, she was like, wow, we real. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It is what it is. This is who we are. We real. So then she starts talking to her mother again about the fact that she absolutely intends on having a baby. And once again, she wants to compare herself to Cardi. But again, like I said last week, you can't compare yourself to Cardi because Cardi was grinding from the minute, I'm sure the minute she found out she was pregnant. Remember, that was when her album was coming out. I'm talking about when she was pregnant with Culture, not the baby she has now. And she never stopped grinding. She was supposed to go on tour with Bruno Mars. Now, she ended up not being able to make it because she said, it was a lot harder than she expected. But That was her intention. So you just can't compare what you were planning on doing with what Cardi did, because you're saying you want to take time off, that you don't even want to work no more. You can't have it both ways. Anyway, her mother is trying to talk to her and make her understand that and convince her and explain this to her. I don't know if she heard it or not. They kind of left us hanging about whether her mother said, just give me a year. She said, I'm not saying you can't have another baby. I'm saying give me a year. Like, everything is popping off with your career right now. It's a lot going on with your career. Just give me a year. And a year, go have the baby you want to have. Go do what you want to do. Anyway. Shayla Marie, the wife to Ace Hood, we learned a little bit more about them and their relationship. We know, last week we found out that she has her own brand. She does, the spiritual journey stuff, the meditation and all of that. We found out that she wrote a book over the pandemic called Positive Vibes. It's like a journal with daily affirmations. And then she does, like, I think they're like YouTube videos, and it looks like she also does some sort of like sends out messages or voice messages to people as well. We see her with her friend Asha. Asha is pregnant, honey. I mean, Asha is pregnant. And we find out that unfortunately her and Ace Hood did have a miscarriage. And she talked about how hard that was for them to go through that, because he sort of kept it in stride. He didn't really respond. She told him, and he was just kind of like, all right. And she said he started making him a smoothie on his way to the gym. And she said that she really needed him there. She really needed the support from him, and she felt like she just didn't get it. Now, we also found out last week that he's had another loss, that he had a twin. He had twins with his former relationship, and one of the twins died. And I think that was just his coping mechanism. You already had a very young child die. You just had a miscarriage. And I just think for him, and, not making any excuses or defenses, because I can't defend it, I don't know him like that to defend him like that. But I just feel like that's really where that's coming from. But she was talking to her friend about, just what she needed from him. We found out that this is around the time of Mother's Day, and they're having a Mother's Day brunch. They're hosting a Mother's Day brunch for their mothers. And she was like, she just knows it's going to be a really hard day for her, because, in a perfect world, she would either be getting ready to be a mom, or I'm not sure how far back this was. They might have said it, but I don't remember. Or she would have had the baby by now. So it's just a lot. Later on in the episode, we see them with the brunch, honey, and his mama show up. Now, she says that her mother deals with a lot of social anxiety, and so she did not want to put her mom in the position. I'm sure it was the combination of being around a lot of people and with there being cameras there. So her mother wasn't there, but her father was. And it looks like they might have rented out like a really nice Airbnb to host it, because I didn't get the impression that it was their house, but I could be wrong. I'm just saying. And she tried to have a conversation with his mom about improving their relationship. And ultimately, we found out last week that around the same time that he was sort of cutting back on things and his lifestyle was changing, was around the same time he hooked up with her. And so his mother connects her with things changing as far as him giving her money and being able to take care of her in the way she had been used to him taking care of her. Now, we saw the conversation. Now, I will say this. One thing his mother said that I got to side with his mother on, she said, listen, I have tried to call you. I've tried to reach out to you for us to talk, for us to build our relationship. And her response is, well, I don't really answer the phone for anybody. She said, because you just never know what's on the other side of that phone call. Well, how do you expect to build a relationship with somebody and improve a relationship with somebody if you won't meet them halfway? I mean, if she's reaching out to you to talk to you, maybe she's calling you to invite you to lunch, maybe she's calling you to say, come on over, let's talk, let's get to know each other. And for your response to be, well, I don't answer the phone for anybody. But I'm not anybody. I'm your mother-in-law who you claim you want a relationship with. Like, that's not good enough. Like, first of all, her number should be programmed in your phone and you know exactly who she is. Like, I'm sorry, Dad, I can't give you that. I can't give you that. I was with you probably 80% of this, But that one, I can't. Anyway, so that conversation didn't really seem to go anywhere, and you could tell that Ace Hood is used to this or ain't really trying to deal with it, because when they got to talking, you could tell, like, you could hear what their conversation was about. They weren't whispering, but they weren't yelling, but you definitely, the voices were a little elevated. You could definitely hear it, and he ain't want no parts of that. He was like, nope, I ain't coming over there. Nope. And I think at a certain point they did end up sharing that she, had the miscarriage, and so of course, people open up to you when they find out you've had that kind of a loss. So then we see Trick and Trina. This the time for the morning show. Trina, I ain't gonna say Trina late. I'm just gonna say Trick was there before her. She said this was a bad day for her, and she showed up. Now I feel like this scene, I feel like, is a combination of bad editing and stuff that was said behind the scenes not fully coming to us. So today's the anniversary of her brother's death. And as someone who's lost a sibling, it doesn't get easier. Like, it just doesn't. Her brother was murdered. It's hard for her. And so she said, this ain't a good day for me. And I feel like she told production that. So she went in and they were trying to film this scene. And Trick is following the script. They were talking about the whole thing in Atlanta. And he was saying, yeah, everything ended up being cool. It turned out nice, but I was just surprised it was in Atlanta. And she was like, yeah, I was surprised it was in Atlanta too. He was like, well, I want to do something here and it's going to be us. He was like, what kind of venue you think? She was like, I don't know. We have to look for something. And he was like, well, yeah, because it's going to be cool. It's going to be this. It's going to be that. And Trina just starts going off. I don't really care about this right now. I don't want to talk about this right now. This ain't good for me. I told y'all this wasn't a good day for me. And y'all, listen, we've seen Trina throw these tantrums before, and she legit went off and threw this whole tantrum. Now, Trick, being somebody that has known Trina for 30 years, he knows who she is. He knows the ups, the downs, the ins and outs. He loves her anyway. You know what I mean? He loves her anyway. And he said, listen, I ain't tripping over Trina. Because, listen, she ran up out of there. He gonna pick up, he talking about some, Trina, you left your phone case. Like, he was so unbothered by it. He knew what it was. He knew it was the anniversary of her brother's death. He understood what he was dealing with. And I can respect, like, that's when you know you're dealing with real friends. Like, those are just real friends right there. So he ended up, later on that day, they were having a balloon release for her brother. And so, of course, we see all of that. We see the emotion of it. We see that it still very much affects the whole family. We saw his kids who were still very emotional about it. And, you understand. Like, I'm telling you, it's a bad day. Some anniversaries are harder than others. Some anniversaries, I'm good. Other anniversaries, not so much. So I definitely get it. But I just feel like that scene, because when you look at the scene, it looks like Trina just flipped out from like it looked like she went from 0 to 100. But as she was leaving out, she said, I told y'all this wasn't a good day for me. What I took that as, I told y'all before we were getting ready to sit down to film this scene that this wasn't a good day for me and I really ain't want to do this shit. But y'all made me do it. I had to sit down, and at some point in that conversation, she just didn't give a fuck. I get it. The next day, we see her. She had been invited to perform at I want to say it was like a Pride event, it was like an AIDS awareness event down in Miami. She was late. The promoters were upset. They were like, listen, like, this is unacceptable. This is unprofessional. Then, of course, once she got there, she had to get in hair and makeup. Her managers are basically saying it's her. She's saying it's their fault. I don't know whose fault it is. I know it's not a good look. I know it's unprofessional. And if they're trying to build a narrative that Trina's got this horrible management team, then that's not a cute narrative to build, because the message you're putting out there is that your management can't get you the venues on time, can't get you the information on time, can't plan properly. And that's not a good look. I don't know if the storyline is going to be at the end, she ends up firing them and maybe meeting back up with Julian or finding new management. Like, I'm not sure where this is going, but it just wasn't a good look. She did end up getting on stage and performing, and it all, it turned out right. But I don't know. That wasn't a good look. Anyway, that's the episode, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.